Hello and welcome to a tiny primer on attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Today I'm going to be talking about why a 504 plan may not be appropriate for your child. So why am I showing you a photo of an orchestra? Good question. ADHD is physiologically an orchestra without a conductor or a company without a CEO. So the part of the brain that organizes and plans what you're going to do next, your child's mental planning, is impaired. And this part of the brain is where all the executive functioning takes place. It's not a novel idea to say this. It actually comes from researchers such as Russell Barkley, who is one of the most preeminent researchers on ADHD. And he refers to it in his book, which I have noted at the bottom of this slide. So if your child currently has accommodations, are they still having trouble completing homework? A 504 plan might give them extra time, but an IEP gives them instruction that is individualized in compensatory strategies. And this is to make up for the lack of having a conductor. So what compensatory strategies am I talking about and what helps? So if your child is on a 504 or hasn't been evaluated yet, step one, you need to reach out to the child find coordinator in your district. In reaching out to them, you might want to state what kind of deficits is your child exhibiting in the classroom or at home. So some of the strategies that could help are measuring how tangible organizational tools work for your child. For children who have extremely impairing ADHD, a shaping program may be needed to cement habits and avoid punishment. So a shaping program is similar to a behavior intervention plan. It's very stepped and scaffolded. So remember what I was talking about in that educational performance is impacted, and ADHD is a performance disorder. The criteria for special education is a qualifying diagnosis and an adverse impact on education. So we go back to the question, does your child need to hand in homework, initiate tasks, control impulsive remarks in the classroom, or complete assignments? If the answer is no to those, then your child's fine with a 504 plan. So step two, joking aside, you need to send in a request for a full individual evaluation under IDEA. You got to consider the quality of the evaluation. You want to influence that as much as possible. So it should cover everything on the slide, but especially social and emotional competencies, because there's often comorbidity with depression and anxiety. Provide parent input to the IEP team, the ARD committee, or the evaluator. Make sure you get information from your counselors and therapists and psychiatrists that work with your child now. So, step three, if your child is actually facing disciplinary measures and doesn't have an IEP in place, as soon as you sign that consent for evaluation, your child has implied rights. And that's in the notice of procedural safeguards that you're given when you sign consent for an evaluation. So what do implied rights mean? Well, you may be able to talk to the school about the fact that they didn't do an evaluation already, despite your child having obvious behavior problems that resulted in a disciplinary placement. And that may be enough to negotiate an exit from what whatever placement they're in that is not their regular placement. So meeting tips: consider skills needed for life after graduation. In the long term, will your child be prompted to hand in assignments in college? Advocate for more time to finish a work report? Organize important papers and contracts? The answer to that is typically no. So it's very important to have the school address these skills with instruction before your child leaves high school. So this is the part of the IDEA where you can find the rules about a child with a disability. This is the definition part and also some evaluation rules. If you're having trouble advocating for your child with ADHD and need some advice or help, feel free to reach out. But until then, I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for listening.